Hey guys, just want to let you know, Wrestling for the Culture will now be on the Wrestling Realm YouTube page. So, for all the content featuring the wrestlers of color, make sure you check out the Wrestling Realm on YouTube. And if you have submissions, be sure to send them to me.
No, baby, that's for somebody else. We're just gonna keep you right where you're at right now.
It doesn't matter what you think.
The Wrestling Realm presents Break It Down with Brian H.
You heard the music that only means one thing. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Break It Down with Brian H. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. Shout out to my little cousin, Hypno Beats, with that glorified track. Who's the heel now? So, if you watched Monday Night Raw, you saw that the show closed up with a tag team match that featured Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman taking on Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. So, let's go back a week before we get into that. Last week, Roman Reigns defended his Universal Championship against Finn Balor. After he was victorious, Braun Strowman was waiting to cash in. Here comes the Shield, a reunited Shield. First time because Dean Ambrose just returned. But the Shield reunited. They beat up Braun Strowman, put him through a table. So we couldn't wait for it this week, right? So guess what? Instead, Braun Strowman said, "That's all right, see me one-on-one." They come out there in the beginning of the show. Roman's like, "I'm waiting." It's 8:05. Where's Strowman? Long story short, we got a title match at Hell in a Cell. He cashed in. He says, he pulled the RVD route. This is the date. I'm cashing in at Hell in a Cell. Gave his contract to Baron Corbin and said, "You better bring the briefcase come Hell in a Cell." So it was a tag team match, mixed tag team match, because, Ziggler and McIntyre, they had to stick their nose in the business. So Corbin made a tag team match. And then just when Roman was looking for the hot tag to bring in Braun Strowman, Strowman just stood there and waited and waited. Never got back in. McIntyre and Ziggler would beat up Roman to the point that they would lose by disqualification for continuously attacking the illegal man. Referee lost control of the match. And then Braun Strowman gets in, and just when it looked like Strowman was going to clean house, he joined up with Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Who's the heel now? Last week there was all this talk about the Shield being the heels, and because they put a guy through the table. I mean, you even had experts like Jim Ross saying, "Oh yeah, they're heels because they put a guy through a table." But not tonight. We saw Braun Strowman join up with McIntyre and Ziggler. And then here comes Dean Ambrose. He comes out there, which I don't understand why because Rollins will come out there too. Obviously, 1-on-3 doesn't work. Why didn't they just come out together? But guess they want to do it. So, unfortunately, that meant that they got beat down too. And this week, it was the Shield that was laid out thanks to Strowman and company. So where does this go? Does this mean Braun Strowman's officially a heel after he's paired up with McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler? I don't mind it. A heel Braun Strowman is cool. And then he reminded Roman Reigns, "I told you, I'm not finished with you." We know these two have had a great story over the past year. They put each other through battles. Roman, for goodness sake, tried to kill Strowman by running, putting him through a truck and running the truck or ambulance and crashing into that. So there's no doubt about it. There's history there. So I want to see what happens. I will say this as a very early prediction. I don't think Strowman leaves Hell in a Cell with the WWE Universal Championship. And speaking of Universal Champions, we're going to talk about a former champion. They were in Toronto, Canada tonight. We know Canada, the country, is the home of Kevin Owens. Owens vowed that he would not leave Toronto without a title. And because he was not able to beat Seth Rollins for the Intercontinental title, answering the open challenge, we saw Kevin Owens get in the ring and utter the words, "I quit." Kevin Owens, folks, quits the WWE. He has quit Monday Night Raw. Now, it would be great if he showed up on SmackDown Tuesday, but nonetheless, he's quit, so he's done. I'm not sure where that happens. I'll tell you this, though. I had to run out, so I didn't see everything that happened on Raw, but I did catch up, thanks to the social media clips and then my crew. And I have to admit, it was, it looked like it was a good show. This, from what I could see, had a good match. I already knew, I'll probably go back and watch the full thing, but I already know when I see Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, I'm going to get a good match regardless. But it's very interesting. I want to see what happens here. You tell me, tweet me at Wrestling Realm, at Brian H. Waters. What do you think is going to happen with Kevin Owens? And then move on, Constable Corbin tonight. So he decided he was going to make some changes to some rules. He had a match with Finn Balor and said that it would be Finn Balor, not the Demon King. And during the match, he made it a no disqualification match, which will lead to the Constable getting the victory because he could do whatever he want. And he said, he admitted, when you in charge, you flex your muscle. So I want to see what happens. I want to see how long he's going to be, running Raw. I do think it's cool Kurt Angle gets a break. This is the most I've ever, and I put this on record because I know, shout out to Glenn Thomas, who you can check out his review at Fox Sports 1340 AM on YouTube and Wrestling Marks of Excellence podcast. Glenn will always make it known on his show that I am not a Baron Corbin fan, but I have to admit, I'm going on record. This is the most work I've liked out of Baron Corbin since he stepped foot in NXT. Right now, all the stuff he's doing, I like this the most. So I'm going to go ahead and take a break. So, got a word from my boys at View from the Top Rope.
This is Chad from View from the Top Rope. I know you're enjoying yourself. Clearly listen to Break It Down with Brian H. Brought to you by the Wrestling Realm. Make sure you keep tuned in, keep listening. I'm going to send it back to Brian.
And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you have checked them out at View from Top Rope on Twitter. They got a lot of good content. Why? Because this is all in weekend. So they will be there. So I'm very excited for them. Obviously, like I said, I wish I could be there, but you will see in a few days why I will not be there. Surprise is coming. But so let's talk about the women before we wrap up. It was a great night for the women. We're going to start with Trish Stratus. For those who do not know, my favorite WWE women's wrestler of all time made her return tonight. You do know that at Evolution, she will be taking on Alexa Bliss. But tonight, Elias was singing, and Trish, they started trading jabs, and she had to slap him. He said, he wouldn't date anybody that's 60. After he did make some interesting insults, said, Trish versus Alexa Bliss is going to be, he said a degrading match, something attitude era-ish, which the thing I like about Elias is he is a heat seeker. So, but nonetheless, Elias got slapped by Trish, well, rightfully deserved. And we saw her backstage with Ronda Rousey, the Bella Twins, and with Natalya, who defeated Alicia Fox tonight in her return, first match back since the untimely passing of her dad, the late great Jim the Anvil Neidhart. But, back to backstage, obviously all the ladies took a selfie. And then it was revealed that the Bella Twins will be wrestling next week on Raw. So I can't wait. I'm a fan of the Bellas. I don't care what anybody says. I know a lot of people don't really care for them. Nope, I'm a fan. I do think Nikki will probably stay on Raw, and I think we'll see Brie go to SmackDown, obviously with her husband, Daniel Bryan. We do know that she is in a tag team match at Hell in a Cell, the mixed tag match that will feature Miz and Maurice versus Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Somebody please check on that for me. I do think that is the first time they will team up. I'm almost certain that's the first time they will team up. I know if I'm wrong, people will tweet me at Brian H. Waters or Facebook me, Brian H. Waters. So, nonetheless, Bella Twins return. Alexa Bliss, afterwards, she made it known that she's invoking her rematch clause. So, at Hell in a Cell, we will get Alexa Bliss challenging for the Raw Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey. I don't think Alexa Bliss wins this match, let's be real. But it is great that she'll get the rematch. It'll be at Hell in a Cell. And, because Hell in a Cell is booked to be kind of like SummerSlam's Backlash. So I think that'll be good. Very interested. And then also with the women. So if you've been following Titus Worldwide, it's Titus O'Neil, Apollo Crews, and Dana Brooke. Titus O'Neil set up a match for Dana Brooke, and that match was against Sasha Banks. What was funny was you had Apollo Crews going up to Titus saying, dude, what are you doing? You going to put her in a match with Sasha Banks? She's not ready for that. She's just getting back in the ring. Sasha is obviously a multiple-time women's champion, a proven veteran at this point. But Titus believes in throwing her into the wolves. I guess that's what Titus Worldwide is all about. Nonetheless, I did see highlights from this match. I enjoyed what I saw. I would have liked to see Dana Brooke use more powerful moves. And, you hear Corey Graves talk about her strength and her athleticism. But we see the athleticism, but we don't see that many power maneuvers. And I want to see more power maneuvers coming from Dana Brooke. So, but we'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure you are subscribed to the Wrestling Realm on YouTube, where you can get a lot of cool content. There's timeless material up there for you right now if you're new to this show or you're new to the channel. The real Dwayne Allen and I have discussed many things, including the NWO, gang warfare. We talked about the Four Horsemen. We've talked about how wrestling matters. We talked about bounties in professional wrestling. So there's a lot of content over, probably over a few hundred hours worth that'll keep you busy. Make sure you follow us at the Wrestling Realm. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes or Spotify. Do me a favor, hit me with a 5-star ranking, and then after you do it, screenshot it and share it. Let me know. I'll definitely give you a shout out on the show. Shout out to my boy Ron Carthen. He's one who's giving me a 5-star review. Shout out to my homie Brianna. She's giving me a 5-star review. So I appreciate each and every one of you out there who support the show, who take time out of your day to listen. So until the next time, folks, so long, everybody.